Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back in to mattsteinway.com. I had a call from an owner yesterday and I hadn't spoken to them for maybe a week or two. And you know when you see their number pop up and you're like, bugger, you haven't spoken to them enough, which is pretty rare for me because I've sort of built my career on great vendor management. And vendor management is that important, it's not funny, especially in the current market. And I just got doing other things, and for some reason I didn't pay enough attention to this owner and didn't ring her enough. And you know, like I usually stay in contact every day, pretty much. And if they don't want every day, it's like most days. So anyway, I semi-copped it from her, and rightly so. And she was like, you know, she asked me a really valid question. She said, are you still interested in our property? Are you still passionate about selling it? Because we haven't heard from you. And I was like, you know, I thought to myself, because it's all about energy. It's all about, you know, they've engaged me to provide them with a level of service to get their property sold. Their property has been on the market for a while. It's a bit more of an expensive property. But, you know, I had to ask myself, was I engaged in it? And even though I am, like I am, but it's not good enough. You know, it's not good enough to not meet the standard that I set out to meet when I listed it. And do I want to help them get their property sold? Yeah, definitely. Was I doing other things? Yeah, for sure. Is that good enough? No, it's not. So when us as agents, got to remember, when someone's selling their home and they've listed it with us, they have a perception on what they'd like to happen and how, you know, how they'd like their service expectations met. And remember, when we list a property, there's a couple of things people gauge us on. One, they gauge us on what we say to them at the listing presentation. So we say we do this, we do that, we do this, blah, 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 but also our reputation. Our reputation is well, it's massively important, but our reputation is the other thing that they get a sense of. And if you've been in the business for a while, like myself, I would have sold for people that they've met before, or people that they know, or other people that have heard of me or whatever. And I've built my career on keeping people totally up to date, keeping them ahead of the marketplace, making them feel like I've got everything covered. Do I do a great job most of the time? Yeah, I do a really good job. Did I drop the ball this time? Yeah, I did massively, and it wasn't just I hadn't spoken to them for a week or maybe two. Probably before that, the rhythm of my contact had been less and less because not much was going on. Did I think I had it covered in my mind? Yeah, I did. But was I still out there talking to people about it? Yeah, I was. But I think it was a combination of maybe how I started off. A few months down the track, hasn't sold. We've had some price reductions and we've been working our way through the market. And even when I listed it, I thought I listed the price pretty right. You know, I'd sold one up the road that was a little bit different, but we used that as a gauge, and we priced it probably under where we wanted to initially anyway, and then we've reduced it again. It's in an area that's a bit of a holiday area predominantly and a bit of a defined market, so it's taking a little bit to get it sold. However, that's no reason that my standards should drop. And the owner said, you know, like maybe I should interview some other agents, and I got that. As much as I didn't want that to happen, I was like, yeah, maybe that's probably not a bad idea, because I knew I hadn't delivered what I probably set out to deliver. And us as agents, we've got to remember, when people are selling their home, they just want a result. They want to get it sold, and they want us to do what we've said, but also us to give them energy constantly. Even sometimes when you don't feel like it, our responsibility is to help the owner navigate through the marketplace, and we do that through energy a lot of the time and just being there. There's an old saying, if you don't call, they think you don't care. And whether I cared or I was doing what I should do or whatever, the fact is I didn't call, and it's not good enough compared to the standard that I set out to. So anyway, if you've got a few owners there that may be lingering on the market, and even though their properties are saleable and you're just waiting for that right person, or you know, it's just taking a little bit longer than you thought it would, maybe that's all the more reason you should give them twice as much energy and learn from the phone call I just got and assess where you're at, because vendor management is everything. Vendor management builds your connection with an owner, it builds your reputation, it builds the results in this marketplace as well. I know one thing, and I've learnt this massively over the years, that if I give an owner energy every single day, and I don't mean just speaking to them every day, just having them know that you're there and something's going on, you've got it covered, you're giving it your best shot, then when you do get some interest on the property, something happens, they'll listen to you. They'll listen to you, they'll listen to your recommendations, and they'll work with you. And here's the other thing, where focus goes, energy flows. And if you're constantly giving a property focus, energy, direction, love, buyers usually come. Buyers come also. So I need to pick up my act with that property and give them twice as much energy now and get it back to that point where, you know, something's happening with it and they've got a level of confidence in me again, because it's a hard thing to work your way back from once you get to that point, but it can be done. Question of the day today: do you have any listings that are maybe need a little bit more love at the moment, lingering a little bit on the marketplace, they need a bit more attention and love, and are you prepared to do that? Not even are you prepared to do that, do you have that? And what more could you do right now to help those owners know that you're on the job? Because if you do that, 9 times out of 10 it will sell also. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you on the next video, and also helping make this real estate world a much better place.